Hello chums. Wow, that must be the most cheery intonation I've ever managed, and I'm not just talking about TTS. Here we are again for another Chaos Knights report, and it's a bit of a special one, as A, it's a night fight, and B, it's versus Gareth from OBSEC Tactics, and was also filmed for their channel, so you can see this report in all its glory on OBSEC Tactics. And see the terror in my eyes, and my gormless, stupefied expression as I try to cope with the concept of appearing on camera.
There it is. You went and said it. I just came right the fuck out and said it.
It was good fun though. Link in description. Disclaimer, this report is very short and one-sided, so if you don't dig that, consider yourself warned. Before we take a look at the rosters, I just want to say thanks and welcome to any new subscribers. But take a look at this.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Anyway, the last report generated a lot more subs than normal, so thanks. Right, enough waffle, onto the rosters. We're playing Vital Intelligence, on a standard-sized board. For this game we decided to allow knights to benefit from both obscuring and dense cover, with the small ruins providing dense. It just makes sense for a night fight. For secondaries, I took behind enemy lines, Titan Hunters, and to the last, while Imperials took Data Intercept, Bring It Down, and Stranglehold. Deployment. My Gauntlet Despoiler is down here, with the Tyrant holding my home objective, my Warglaves all hiding behind the big building, and my Dreadblade up top. More on him later. The Imperials are arrayed in a not too dissimilar fashion, with the speedy Gallant at the front. I win the roll for first turn.
Thank God.
Here's movement. I barely move my Gauntlet Despoiler, as if he goes much forward he'll be in range to get mullered by the Gallant next turn. The Tyrant just shuffles round, but I move up more aggressively with the dual thermal Dreadblade and Warglaves. In shooting, I put Trail of Destruction onto the Tyrant, and with some hot rolls, he deletes the enemy Crusader.
It's gone.
I sprinkle a decent amount of damage elsewhere too, doing 11 wounds to the Castellan with the Dreadblade, and 3 to the Helverin with my own Helverin, I think. The Dreadblade has Path to Glory as one of its packs, which gives it permanent rerolls to hit versus Titanic or characters, and Vow of the Beast Slayer to reroll ones to wound. With dual thermal cannons, this guy is frickin' nuts.
It's my favorite.
The other Despoiler fails to put any wounds onto the Gallant with its rapid-fire battle cannon. This puts me on 4 points, for Titan Hunters. In Imperial's turn 1, we get aggressive movement from everyone except the Helverin, which stays at the back and does the Data Intercept action. This is the mission-specific objective that the army took, which gives points next command phase based on how many objectives the army holds. Pretty cool secondary, as I think it's the only action-based secondary that knights can actually take. His Warglaves advance up incredibly far thanks to the Landstrider Warlord trait on his Gallant, which then moves and advances way down here to menace my Gauntlet Despoiler. In shooting, I just get incredibly lucky. His Castellan does its Order of Companions thing to reroll all ones, and targets the Dreadblade, but fails to take it out.
No danger, my friend, no danger.
The Dreadblade survives with 9 wounds left. At one point the Castellan CP rerolled 2 shots on its Volcano Lance into a 1, so I got off incredibly lightly there. One of the Warglaves puts 6 wounds onto the Gauntlet Despoiler, and then the Gallant attempts a charge, but it needs a 9, and fails even with a reroll. Well, I have to feel pretty bad for the Imperials' bad luck in their turn 1. Either taking out the Dreadblade with the Castellan, or the Despoiler with the Gallant, would have been a sufficient counterattack to put me on the back foot, but it wasn't to be. They do get 3 points for Stranglehold, though. My turn 2, and here's movement. My emboldened Gauntlet Knight squares up to the Gallant.
I'm about to get mine.
Here's the rest of the table. The Tyrant stays on the back objective, with visibility of the gallant in both enemy warglaves. My own warglaves try and get into the enemy deployment zone but don't roll high enough on the advance. The Dreadblade lumbers towards the Castellan. In shooting, the Castellan splits its fire between the leftmost warglaive and the gallant, destroying the warglaive and dealing 12 wounds to the gallant. The Dreadblade also puts a fair few more wounds onto the Castellan, which is looking quite sickly now. Charge time.
Does anyone have a charger?
Gauntlet into gallant, and Despoiler into Castellan. Knights have no CP left for Overwatch. The Despoiler is bracketed so only hits on 4s, but it's an iconoclast, so it gets 15 attacks, which should have been 18 actually, as I think I forgot the +1 attack Warlord trait I gave it. Most importantly, though, it frickin' rerolls to hit still because of its pact. Add in the extra AP from being iconoclast, taking its stompy feat to AP-3, and it makes short work of the Castellan. Let's put it this way, a regular knight charging in and kicking another knight averages just over 5 wounds. This bastard averages over 13, with 0 CP expenditure.
Impressive.
The Gauntlet Despoiler gets 3 wounds through onto the Gallant, but the Gallant has a 5+ invulnerable in combat, and makes 3 successful saves.
What?
This means the Gallant survives with 6 wounds remaining, I think, but luckily for me it only deals 7 wounds in return. End of my turn 2, then, and I go up to 14 points. Imperials could start turning the tide next turn with a bit of luck, but the problem is they haven't even dented my Tyrant yet, who left unchecked is more than capable of ripping through the rest of their army. Imperials just have the badly wounded Gallant, the Halvarin, and 1 Warglaive left now. The Gallant obviously falls back and prepares to charge back in, and the Warglaive squares up to the Dreadblade. Well, quite a simple turn to narrate. Nothing of particular note happens in shooting, and the Gallant charges in, but unfortunately whiffs again, and this time it gets crushed in return. Oh, I forgot to mention that this Despoiler has the Vow of Dominance, essentially giving it transhuman physiology, meaning the Gallant felt forced into using its feet each time it attacked. Just a whiffy wound roll again, I think. The Warglaive also fails to take out the Despoiler, doing just 3 wounds, but it does survive the retaliation, just about. So at the end of their turn 2, Imperials go up to 16, but I've now maxed out Titan Slayers, putting me on 20 all told. Yeah, I know you score Titan Slayers at the end of the battle, but it works better recording it this way in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
So here's how the board looks at the end of the second battle round, and due to the overwhelming presence of the Chaos Knights versus just 2 baby knights, we call the game there. We did a calculation of what I'd score on the assumption that both of the baby knights go down this turn, as they're both badly wounded anyway, and it comes out as a 97-26 victory. If you see the total on OBSEC Tactics, the total will be lower for both of us, as they never award the 10 bonus points for painted armies. Okay, well there you have it. A rather lopsided victory with some good luck for me and poor rolls from the Imperials when it mattered, meaning they just never got the momentum to be able to claw the game back. I guess Knights versus Knights is prone to this sort of all-or-nothing match. My Dreadblade turned out to be a bit cheesy with its permanent rerolls to hit. I took that because I was under the misapprehension that Imperial Knights would be favored in this matchup, but I think it really wasn't needed because I now see that Chaos definitely have the edge. The ability to double up on weapons, being able to make their purely shooty knights decent in combat, access to multiple reroll stratagems, and a consistently high number of shots thanks to the Eternal Torment household, would seem to tip things decidedly in the favor of Chaos. Question time.
Does anyone have
an answer?
We decided to put these reports up as it's the first dual perspective report we've done, so it seemed a shame to waste the footage. But going forward, what is y'all's opinion about me uploading very one-sided reports? Looking back through the 53 reports I've now uploaded to this channel, these represent pretty much the vast majority of total 40k games I've played during that period. I've played a few others from time to time, some of which end up as video reports on ye olde battle reps, link in description. The eagle-eyed among you may have recognized the Halvarin I used as one of Dan's. Thanks for the loan, Dan. But do you think I should start picking and choosing which reports to upload? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, so thank you very much to OBSEC Tactics for hosting me and for the great game. Be sure to check out their channel and give them a sub too. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next report.